Hi Virgo, this is going to be your sun, moon, and rising reading. It is a timeless reading, so whenever you come across this message, I believe it is meant for you. Please keep in mind that this is a general reading and this is not going to resonate for every single Virgo out there. All right, let's get started. What is happening for my Virgos for sun, moon, and rising? We have the Seven of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, the Lovers, the Moon, the High Priestess, the Three of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, the Nine of Swords, and the Four of Wands. And then we have the King of Rods, the King of Wands. All right. So Virgo, this one, what I'm picking up for you guys already is there has definitely been a loss. I'm also getting just a sense of disappointment, not knowing why this happened, or even just it happened so quickly. But there is this holding on to past mistakes and past losses, because I feel like for a lot of you guys, this could have been a divorce or a relationship, or even just somebody you cared about. I'm also getting to, because lovers is not always necessarily a romantic relationship. It's some kind of choice that you could have made that could have lost you money, or could have lost you some type of resource, or even, again, a person. Either way, though, I am getting that there's definitely a loss of a partnership or a loss of a thing. So again, general reading, it's not going to resonate for every single Virgo. But however, it is kind of like a similar thing. If this is a loss of money or relationship, it still kind of has a similar basis to it. Because I feel like for a lot of you guys, now with that Moon card, maybe at one point you couldn't see everything as clearly, and now it's like it's all crystal clear. It's all coming together. You're realizing that how this happened and why this happened. You're seeing all the red flags now. It's like you're seeing everything that you once maybe turned a blind eye to, and you're now beating yourself up over this. I feel like a lot of you guys, you were like, man, maybe if I would have done this differently or that differently, then this would work out. Then I could make this work. But the truth was, Virgo, is if things don't work out, sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. Sometimes we just don't see every single thing behind the scenes. We don't know what a person's true intentions are until maybe perhaps they betray us, or, and even then at times we still don't understand the motive or the reasonings behind why certain things happen. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, that is one of the issues that I'm seeing, is you're beating yourself up and you're trying to change something that has been set and done in the past. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, it's having to come to that realization, because I think with this Hanged Man, especially because it's in the reverse here, and I'm getting that what you're trying to do is you're trying to free yourself, because whatever this was, it was built on shaky ground. It was not a solid commitment, or it was not a solid investment that you made. And because of that, it's almost like maybe it was hard for you to accept that. And so you're trying to rationalize ways that you can fix it, or you're trying to rationalize ways of why this happened. And I feel like what you're doing is you're going around in circles. You're not getting to the root cause of the issue. And for some of you guys, I feel like one of the root causes was like this rejection that you felt, this betrayal that you felt. There's some kind of an abandonment wound that's been reactivated, reopened, and it's so hard for you to get past it, because it's interesting, because how our mind wants to work is, because I feel like for some of you guys here, Virgo, you didn't get the full understanding of a situation. And when we just don't fully understand something, and sometimes our ego or just our mind it's all about solving problems. Our mind does not care about our happiness. It's built for survival, and it's built on solving problems, because that's how we survive, right? That's how our ancestors have survived this whole time. It's how we are designed to be. So when you guys don't understand an issue or a problem, and then say emotions get mixed in with that, it gets even harder at times to think clearer. And sometimes we just don't get the answers that we want. And other times too, maybe people will tell us the truth, but because it's so simple, and because it's just such an easy thing to just say, it doesn't seem like it should be the accurate choice. It doesn't seem like that's the right answer. You know, for instance, say if this person left you, they could tell you, I left you because I just fell out of love. That could be true. As painful as that is, that could just be the simplest answer. But because our brain doesn't want to rationalize that, because it's just too simple, it's just, it left questions still. So we want to go over it with a fine-tooth comb and just keep going through it over and over again, because there's something else that's there. But sometimes that's just not the case. Sometimes the truth is it just is what it is, and we need to move on. Sometimes it's just as simple as that. And as painful as that can be, because our emotions get attached to a belief. I feel like for some of you guys, why this is so painful for you, Virgo, to move forward is because you had a, like for instance, let's just say this is a romantic relationship, just to make it easier, because a lot of times that's just easier to talk about. Let's say this is a partner, right? You fell in love with the idea of the partner than you did the partner themselves. You rationalized their bad behavior into something that wasn't even really a thing. The truth was, like, this person could have showed you every bad intention, but because you had it in your mind of a happy home and a happy family, and you wanted it so badly with just this person, you overlook all of the negatives. You overlook all the red flags. And it's not to belittle you or to say you're stupid or that something is wrong with you. We all do it. Everybody does it. It's a thing called denial. And denial is a real issue, because when we start to deny the reality of what others are showing us, sometimes we become so blindsided and we're like, well, I just never saw it coming. But the truth is you did. It was just, you didn't want to believe it. And it's nothing wrong with that, because it's always good to see the good in people, and it's okay to see the good in things that do matter. But the problem of it is there are, like, when a person shows you their true colors, we have to just start to believe it. We can't let our imagination, we can't let our hopes and our dreams of the future cloud what is being presented to us. And I feel like that is really what has happened to a lot of you guys, Virgo, is maybe you got caught up in a belief, or you got caught up in some kind of thought process that, oh, this can work out with this person, and this is my true person. And like, we get lost in what is and what isn't, And I feel like for a lot of you guys, this could have really beaten down your self-esteem. This is definitely something that it did affect you on a deeper level. And it's not because you were stupid or because you deserved it or because it was just more like this whole situation led you to see things for what it really was. And I think that you really had a hard time holding on. Like, you held on a little too long, is what I'm trying to say. You held on a little too long, and that burned you. That hurt you. And there's no point in beating yourself up, because I feel like you guys have been in so much pain and so much hurt over this, that you still being terrible to yourself is only causing yourself further issues. So it's having to believe that you deserve much more than what this situation could entail. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, this person could have told you, oh yeah, I'll give you this. I feel like this person could have just talked a big game, but not actually show you the truth. And I feel like the issues too is that you, this person could not have actually provided you a solid foundation. And I think that that was really hard to hear, because I feel like you really tried your hardest to work things out with this individual. But the truth is you knew deep down inside that this was not going to work out in the way that you were hoping. And it's not, I feel like this is this just feels like an intense reading, because I do feel like there has definitely been a lot of emotions that have been stirred up in this situation. And it's not like I really want to provoke or offend anybody in this. It's just that for a lot of you guys, you fell in love with the idea and not so much the reality of the situation. And we all have been prone to do that. We all have done it. But now it's the time to acknowledge that, and to give yourself some grace, and to give yourself that healing and that time and that period to accept that the reality was not the way that you thought it was, and to have to go through that, because it's more like a disappointment. When we go into that stage of denial, it's genuinely due to the fact of disappointment and the fear of not having that in our life, that we hold on to it longer than we should have. And I feel like a lot of you guys are coming to this point where you're realizing, okay, this isn't going to work out. Maybe I can try and work it out, but you have to ask yourself, really objectively, do you want to work this out? Because there are so many other people, there are so many other resources, jobs, people, situations, and circumstances than this. And you already know how it ended. So sometimes we have to just say it ended the way that it was supposed to. And when you learn to let go of the emotions and the feelings that you have, that's when you can finally come to that realization that, maybe, just maybe, it was a blessing in disguise, or that I'm okay, because in the long run of a situation, it could have ended way worse than what it already had, right? Because sometimes when we hold on to things that aren't meant for us, and we hold on it for a little bit too long, then it can start to actually really start to wreak havoc in our lives, even more so than what it would have if it ended now. You know what I mean? So I'm going to pull here the Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck for our closing messages here. But I do want to just say, I have gone through similar circumstances where it's so easy to fall into the trap of what you wish, what you hope for, than what is actually given. So we have discovery. I feel like this situation is leading you to discover more about yourself, as well as it's almost like sometimes we have to go through these issues too to discover not only ourselves, but also just people in the world at large. Because when we see I can neglect my own needs, my own wants for somebody else over a period of time, sometimes we don't even realize ourselves anymore. And I feel like that could have been a situation that was here. Yeah, this person was wearing a facade. They were not being truthful and honest with you. And I guess you could even say at one point you maybe even you also wore a facade, right? Because it can be a two-way street here, where both of you could have not been entirely truthful or honest about this connection or this situationship. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, you are going to find your joy again. You are going to find what is right for you. It's just having to have more faith and trust in yourself. A lot of you guys need to release this isolation that you're putting yourself in. Some of you guys maybe believe that nobody will ever understand you or understand what you're going through, but that's not true. The thing of it is this individual or this situation really could have beat down your self-worth, and you're having to learn to let that go. this situation is over and ended, it's completed, but you have to learn to heal back and give back to yourself, because your self-worth or your self-esteem could have been damaged in this connection. And that's really what I was feeling with that King of Rods. Your self-worth really could have taken a hit about this situation. And really what you're coming down to is you're discovering yourself, and you're also discovering that this person wasn't a true individual. What you fell in love with or who you thought was somebody is not their true intention, or was not who they truly were. They could have just been gaslighting you and lying to you and putting on a facade, making you believe that they were one way when really in actuality they were a different way. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, this person really could have led you down a path of self-destruction without even realizing it. And I feel like some of you guys could have isolated yourselves after this because of the rejection or the abandonment or just the hurt that you felt and the betrayal from this person, that maybe you're afraid to reconnect again. But it's almost like you're having to learn to release this isolation and choose to become closer to other people again, and not allow this person to rob you of future connections. Don't let people rob you of the love that you have to give. Don't allow other people to rob you of forming connections again with others, because the truth is yes, there are terrible people out there. Yes, there are people that are going to lie to you or pretend to be one way. But the truth is not everybody is like that. And it's just having to use discernment and having to learn from the situation. So stop beating yourself up, Virgo, because I know Virgos can be very hard on themselves. And I know Virgos can be very critical of themselves if they feel they have messed up or done something wrong in a way. So it's having to learn to be a little bit more patient with yourself, being kinder to yourself, and realizing that this has happened to everybody to some point or another. So don't beat yourself up. Don't ridicule yourself or tell yourself that you're wrong or that you deserve that. Nobody deserves to be lied to or betrayed. Nobody deserves to have somebody pull the rug out from under them like that. So just acknowledge that it's okay that this ended, and that it is okay to let it go now, and that it is okay to slowly start to trust yourself and other people again. And you don't have to do it right away. Just take it day by day and just slowly give yourself the love that you need to build back up your self-worth, because the truth is nobody can take away your self-worth unless you allow that. And the truth too is just because you've gone through terrible situations, or say you've gone through abuse or just all kinds of different things, it does not take away your own value or your own worth that you have to give to others and yourself. So that's what I have for my beautiful Virgos. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope that this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much. Have a great and wonderful day, Virgos, and be kind. Bye.